As you remember, we had set up our loop, and now it's time to start playing over this. So basically improvising over it. For me, the most important thing is when you're improvising over things, when you're playing a melody, you need to hear this melody inside. You actually need to be able to sing this melody. So why don't we work on that a little bit? We said our loop, just to remind you, sounding like this, is the first scale degree C, and now it goes to the subdominant F, back to C. Okay, so what that means for me as a soloist, the C major scale basically covers this. I will cover alternatives later, but C major scale is the first thing we can start out with. I would start by practicing that. And let's say we practice C major scale in first position from the lowest note on the instrument to the highest note on the instrument. And I'm going to do that very slowly and carefully and try and get it in tune, meaning being aware of where the whole steps and the half steps are on my left hand. Here we go. Etc. From the lowest note on the instrument to the highest note. I'm just going to be practicing that, getting it in tune. Next thing I want to do is start speeding this up. So I'll maybe take 4 notes to about... etc. I can start speeding this up again. Now let's just do this over the loop. I let the loop run and play my C major scale. I can immediately start mixing up the notes. So this is sort of the technique behind it. But does this sound like music? My answer would be no. It's basically just playing the scale. How do we get from playing the scale to creating music that actually touches and moves people? And again, my answer would be you need to sort of say something, or you need to be able to hear it inside, okay? So my most important thing is when I'm trying to create music is I'm going to start singing, because automatically when I'm singing, I'm going to start phrasing things, I'm going to start giving them rhythms, dynamics, articulation, all those things that basically make up music. So let's try this. And I'm not a very good singer, maybe neither are you, but it's just about hearing inside what the music is for you. So let's try this. La fa ba bi da da ba bi do da ba fui do di fa ba do whip whip di. Yeah, I really am not a very good singer, but you can hear my idea behind it, what I would do with these notes. Not just play the notes, but what I would actually do with it. Okay, the next thing is I want my hand to follow along exactly with what I'm singing. So I'm going to try singing and move my fingers along with my singing. And I can choose very few notes, let's say just 2 or 3 notes if I'm a beginner, but try matching the finger with your voice. So let's start first finger on D string. La with an F. La di da vi fo vi o da di. So just 3 fingers. Fa da vi fa fa do ve di om. Okay? Now this is the one thing I want to practice, my left hand. The other thing I want to practice is my bow. I'll say rhythms in this case. Da 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 da. I'll put these two together. Here I'm hearing the notes, here I'm hearing the rhythms. Okay, and what I will actually do is I'll play a little bit, I'll sing a little bit, I'll play a little bit, I'll do my right hand a little bit, my left hand a little bit, and eventually this starts coming together, starts getting more and more organic. And eventually you won't really have to sing that much anymore because you're doing it automatically on the inside. Now, this you can do for hours, basically. And also, practicing the scale is very important to have your fingers play in tune, etc. But I think it's very important to get to the point where it's music as early as you can. Now, I haven't really talked about the effect pedal here on the floor, which is mainly the big fun for me in combination with this instrument, because, as I mentioned earlier in the other video, what I can do is I can alter my sound. So what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to play with a distortion sound, which doesn't necessarily go with this loop very well, but just for you to hear it. Activate the loop. Now when I do this, what I notice immediately, I want to actually play with a different scale. We normally hear distortion guitar with more of a pentatonic or blues scale, okay? The blues scale in this case would be the flatted third and the fourth. So you can actually watch videos on YouTube showing you about this scale, but I'm going to try and make up melodies with this scale now and with this sound. Okay, another sound I could use is a wah sound, which I'm now using with my foot. Now this is where this whole thing starts becoming really fun. I don't know about you, but for me it was always a dream to be able to play all kinds of music on my violin. I loved listening to pop music, for instance, but I never saw a way to play pop music on my acoustic instrument. It just, for me, somehow didn't fit. As soon as I got my electric instrument, I got all these possibilities, and I started noticing I can sound like an electric guitar, or I can sound a little more like a saxophone, or even like a jazz vocalist, if you wish. Okay, so it opened up a lot of options for me, and the fun is really starting to get creative with that, starting to hear things that you like, maybe steal things. This is actually really how you learn this music, okay? You got to listen to the blues guitar player and then steal information from him. And what we call this in jazz education is basically transcribing. I'm going to listen to, let's say, 4 bars of a solo many, many times until I can sing along, and then I start imitating it exactly like that on my instrument. All the details of the inflections and the bending of the notes, etc. I could even try and find a similar sound that the guitar player is using. And through that, I sort of get the lingo and the feel how to play this music on the instrument, okay? But basically, it's opened up a lot of options for me, a lot of fun. I love doing this with the looping. It's really changed my practicing a lot. And so I wish maybe this video can give you some ideas how you can branch out and get new possibilities through electric instruments and combining them with sound system and effect pedals. I'll see you in the next video.